The following video is rated PG for puzzling gameplay. Viewer discretion is advised.
Today may be the start of winter, but the forecast calls for a 100% chance of volcanic activity as we head back to Tetris Attack and heat things up. Will we have a new champion claw their way into the top 4, or will a repeat winner separate themselves from the rest? Hello puzzlers, this is Cards of the Heart. Welcome back to the League of Puzzle Speedrunners Tetris Attack Speedrun Tournament 2025. We are now at the 6th leg of our championship series to determine our field for the 2025 major tournament in March. It is the Gargantua Blargg Open, and it may be the season for things to get cold, but we are definitely going to have some hot competition today with 8 players looking to stake their claim as the first ever Gargantua Blargg Open champion. And there are some people in this field that have an opportunity to really cement themselves into a top seeding for the major tournament, but we'll get into those scenarios in just a little bit. But first, if you're tuning in to this game for the first time, you're not exactly sure how things work. There's a lot of things at play here, a lot of moving parts. Believe me, I don't blame you. I'll allow you to give me a couple minutes of your time to explain how this game works and how we are playing it in this tournament. Tetris Attack is a match 3 puzzle game released for the Super Nintendo in North America and Europe based on the Super Famicom game Paled Upon. It was also localized and broadcast through the Super Famicom's Satellaview add-on multiple times throughout its service. Both versions are playable in this tournament. Swapping up to 2 panels in your stack at a time, match at least 3 panels of the same color horizontally or vertically to make the panels disappear. Simply matching 3, however, will not be enough to win. You need to make combos and chains to not only stop your stack's gradual rising for a short time and prevent your stack from breaking through the top of your field, but also send garbage to your opponent to force their stack to the top of their field. Make combos by matching more than 3 panels at once. The amount of time they stop rising the stack is minimal, but so is the amount of time their garbage makes the opponent's field shake. Quick wins can be achieved if you stack combo garbage correctly. Make chains by linking sets of matches together. Make one set of panels disappear and then let the panels directly above them fall into another match. Their garbage makes the opponent's field shake more, but they stop the rising stack for much longer. Forcing your opponent's stack to the top is more consistent with larger chain garbage. To beat the CPU opponents, you must either make sure that they run out of time while their stack is topped out, send so much garbage that they can no longer make a move, or send garbage in a way to make them think they can no longer make a move. Due to how combo garbage is handled in this game, this is by far the least likely scenario. In Versus mode, the easy level has 10 stages, the normal level has 11, and the levels Hard and V-Hard, as we call it, have 12. In this tournament, players will be racing each other through all of those stages to defeat the final stage as fast as they can. The player who does that first wins the race. The player who wins a predetermined number of races first wins the match. Best of luck to all of our players. We had 9 players signed up for this 6th monthly tournament in our Tetris Attack tournament series. One of them unfortunately had to drop last night for personal reasons, so we will be rocking 8 players in this tournament with 3 rounds of play. We'll actually be starting things off with our quarterfinals, which is a popcorn level pick format of the first 3 game levels that we play in the Versus mode: easy, normal, and hard. So the way this is set up, our players, all of our players in these matches, we're actually going to group the quarterfinals up 2 at a time, so I kind of need 4 players to agree to the same thing in each instance. We're going to have the players agree on one of those 3 levels to play first, and then the loser, or in the case of our quarterfinals matches, 2 losers of the first race will be coming to an agreement on one of the other levels to play, and we will either play through all of them or have a match winner by the end, since it is first to 2 race wins that wins the match and moves on to the semifinals, where we then jump the difficulty up to the hardest level that we call V-Hard. It's best of 3 for the semifinals, and then in the finals we jump up even further to best of 5. That is the first to 3 wins will win the title of TA 2025 Gargantua Blargg Open Champion. They'll not only earn some major points towards seeding for the major tournaments, the winner will also get an automatic top 8 seed in the field. And just to give an idea of the points breakdown for everyone's finishes in this tournament, we will see the winner of this tournament get 13 points towards major seeding, with second place getting 7 points, semifinalists getting 3 points, and the quarterfinalists, which means everyone that is playing today, will be getting 1 point for their troubles. And there are quite a few log jams at the bottom of our major tournament leaderboard to unjam. In fact, let's take a look at those standings at the moment. It is yours truly, Cards of the Heart, at the top with 37 points. 6 in second place with 18. BB Forky in third with 15 points. And Yoshi112, the defending champion, in fourth place with 13 points. 1 shot, 1 win was Yoshi's motto in that tournament. They are the 4 unique tournament winners so far. The thebfin314 and FFR Pro 21 have a very good shot today of inserting themselves into that top 4 with a win in this tournament. Rounding out the field, it is Tayman and Time, actually, in the top 8, followed by Skell, Yukisaka, Corey BLD, Tetris Attacker, GamerX459, Kanayo, Tolker, ilikebeingsmart rounding out the top 16, and Razorflame is in 17th for the moment. Razorflame did drop from this tournament after qualifying for it, so there's some leaderboard weirdness going on in how the results are being calculated so far. Razorflame has 0 points at the moment, not 7, but that'll be all sorted out by the time this tournament is done. And all of our players will be fighting ultimately for a portion of our crowd-funded prize pool. Prize pool now sits at $221 out of our initial stretch goal of $500, thanks to one of our competitors. In fact, I would say the avatar's sake of this tournament, Tetris Attacker dropped the Prime Gaming sub on this channel, adding $1 to the pool. If you subscribe with higher tiers of Twitch subscriptions to our Puzzle Speedrun Twitch channel, you can get $2 and $6 respectively added to the pool, but we'll certainly accept your tips. We'll accept your Twitch bits. Those will all increase the pool penny for penny. And if we do reach our initial stretch goal of $500, then the top 4 currently set to receive winnings from the major tournament will be expanded to the top 8. And if we do get to our ultimate stretch goal of $1,000, which Beefin just contributed an extra $1 or $2 with his own tier 1 subscription, then everyone in the top bracket of the major tournament will be getting some sort of prize for their trouble. So if you'd like to contribute to the pool yourself, then by all means go to the Stream Elements link on screen or type !pool in the live Twitch chat to get that clickable link. Now, here is how we determine seeding for this Gargantua Blargg Open. We'll just call it the Blargg Open for the rest of the tournaments for brevity. Here is how our players qualified for this tournament. Our procedure is fairly straightforward. forward. It's one attempt at each of the versus levels that we'll be playing today, but each performance is graded on a curve where the player with the best time in a given level will be given the maximum points for that level. So FFR Pro got the most points on the easy level and the hard level, whereas I got the best times in the normal and the V hard level for us to get maximum points in those categories. But everyone else is graded on a curve respective to that. And after the dust settled in qualifying, where we had most of this field qualify in like the last couple of days. So dust was flying very fast towards the end of the qualifying period. But at the end of all that, I came out on top with 98 points, with FFR Pro getting just a quarter of a full point ahead of Beefin for second place, Beefin in third, 6 in fourth, Tetris Attacker 5th, Skell in 6th, ilikebeingsmart in 7th, and Kanayo rounds out the top 8 that you will see today. Unfortunately, again, Razorflame had to drop out for personal reasons. We'll hopefully see them again in another tournament soon. At least we'll hopefully see them in the major tournament coming up in a couple of months. In fact, if you tune into the end of the show, I'm actually going to try and give a little bit of a preview on how the major tournament is going to look this time around, because there is a rather significant change that might change how some people approach major tournaments. So that will be a thing to look out for. But for the moment, let's look at our field. By virtue of Razorflame's drop, Kanayo was awarded a 1-0 match win, so they will be taking me on in the quarterfinals alongside Six and Tetris Attacker. But first up, we will see FFR Pro 21 and ilikebeingsmart, and then a couple of people in the Gremlin Pit taking each other on in Beefin and Skell. These matches, I expect, will be fairly close. We have an idea on how these matches will play out in paper, but these games do have a weird way of throwing spanners into the works. Let's take a look at the live Twitch chat predictions for thoughts on who is going to win, and it seems like more people are putting. Seems like people decided to put points in to the underdogs winning with maximum chaos. We've got 81% of the points going to ilikebeingsmart and Beefin winning their respective matches, with the rest going to ilikebeingsmart and Skell winning those matches. So, but in all honesty, I think it's a losing proposition to bet against the defending Pokemon Puzzle League champion. Just throwing that out there. So Twitch chat has put their thoughts down. If you are watching these matches on YouTube as those VODs come out, by all means put your predictions down in the comments for how each of these matches are going to turn out. Let's not keep our players waiting any longer. They have been patient in gathering for the start of this Gargantua Blargg Open, so let's get right to our 2-7 and 3-6 matchups with FFR Pro 21 versus ilikebeingsmart and the thebfin314 versus Skell. Coming at you right now! Alright, I have let the players know that they can begin whenever. Our right side players are definitely going to have an uphill battle to climb against our the two best players yet to win one of these monthly events. I think FFR and Beefin have been close to the mountaintop multiple times, but it seems like they've had some unlikely challengers step in their way. Timers are counting down on racetime.gg, where we track all of these race results, and we are ready to begin our best of 3 matches on the hard difficulty. Some of you may have joined us from the Pokemon Puzzle League tournaments we've been having lately. Tetris Tech is a bit weird in its difficulty curve by comparison. The CPUs certainly move slower on average. Even the hardest level has the opponents having a hard time keeping up because they don't actually know how to make chains. But our players certainly know how to make chains, and they will be comboing and chaining as much as they can in order to top off these opponents with somewhere around 6 to 7 lines of garbage, depending on how fast they can make them. And these opponents will go down without too much trouble. In fact, our top players can comfortably beat the hardest level in this versus mode in under 10 minutes every time. And FFR Pro right now is certainly showing why he is one of those favorites to win, but Poochie is giving him a hard time with the garbage clear on that initial attack. That's going to be a bit of a slowdown, but it is actually the thebfin314 that is off to the early edge against everyone else. But Skell is certainly keeping up just fine. The margin between those two at the bottom being about 10 seconds at this point, which certainly not a margin that could be considered insurmountable. ilikebeingsmart, though who I will address as Nicole at various points throughout the rest of this show. The show is certainly throwing down the big chains herself to be able to keep up. The execution, though, has not quite been there. FFR Pro is one of the fastest players in our community, has a cursor speed like few others, certainly like none other in this field. So he's gonna get to basically whatever he wants to get to, though there might be a few instances where he tries to get a little bit too much, and by his own claim, his luck in the ending rounds of these monthly tournaments has not been the best. It is certainly possible that V-Hard will come back to bite him again. As of this moment, though, Beefin really not having any trouble with any opponent so far, has been very steady with sending 4 chains, lots of combos. There's another 12-second stage from our 3 seed. Beefin showing all of these opponents who's the boss. FFR Pro getting a garbage clear, but still very comfortably ahead against Smart right now. Alright, Beefin going to make a 5 chain there. It's usually going to take 6 or 7 lines on average to beat some of these opponents. Beefin getting a raw deal on that Raphael, needing 9 lines of garbage to win that stage quickly, and sometimes that's the long and short of it. The stages are certainly not created equal. Not every stage 6, 7, stage 8 is going to be the same, consistent across playthroughs. The random number generator generates these panels one at a time. So it is not the same experience every time, and that appeal is what motivates our players to keep going, to keep playing this game even after so many years. Like our two top match players, FFR and Nicole, have been playing these games for over 10 years in a speedrunning context. They were here for like the very beginning of the initial rush of players that latched onto speedruns of Pokemon Puzzle League and joined us for daily races that we had in 2013. Those were definitely some interesting times. And speaking of interesting times, Beefin, continuing to have no struggle with the hard level whatsoever, is now 2 stages away from posting one of the best times in our field. One of the best times of the tournament. I'm not even 100% sure what the best hard time we've had is, but certainly Beefin is getting close to that. I have to imagine. In fact, let me see if I can look that up as Beefin is about to finish. I believe the best time we've seen in a hard level is 6:32. And Beefin is going to finish with a very impressive sub-7 maneuver. 6:52 is how Beefin finishes game 1. So the thebfin314 will be taking home the first star of the match. Alright. Certainly some issues that won't be so easily fixed, but we'll work on those things later. The FFR Pro finishes on top with a 7:13. And that will be enough for a first star from the 2 seed. Stars are definitely not aligning at the moment. But we'll work around that for another time. We'll see our 2 right side players finish up in just a little bit. Skill has clocked in a time of 8:31, and Smart is right behind them with an 8:39. So GG's to our players on the right, but on the left side players are a bit too good. So they are certainly in the running to run away with these matches. The next choice for the second race level will belong to Nicole and Skell, so they will get to decide between easy and normal. And they have decided that they will go normal for game 2. Will they survive to see a game 3? We'll find out in just a little bit. Alright. And our game 2 is underway on the normal level, which should be familiar to people who have played Pokemon Puzzle League. This is the PPL equivalent. This is level 4. And these CPUs still do not have a great handling of it. But FFR Pro handling it best of our competitors thus far. Beefin got a garbage clear on that initial attack, so he's going to be down just a tiny bit to skill at the drop. FFR Pro with a nice 12-second bumpty, getting some separation against Nicole in the top match, but right now it's our two players on top that are having a better handle of this level. And it could take 6 lines of garbage, it could take 7 lines of garbage. If you're a little bit on the slow side, it could take a little bit more, but again, these CPUs are probably not going to be a major hassle to any of our players. Except for maybe Kamek. Kamek knows how to make chains, unlike everyone else in this level, so it could prove to be a bit of a problem later on, but as our top players are jockeying for a position, it is actually ilikebeingsmart with the 2-second lead after Poochie. And it is Skell with what I would presume to be about a 4-second lead after Poochie, which seems about right. So we are keeping some sort of hope alive that Smart and Skell will be able to keep their tournament lives and tournament hopes alive. Oh, Beefin's 1 line short, but Wiggler does not get to the clear. And at 13 seconds, Beefin will be making up a little bit more ground. Now I believe it's within a 2-second margin now. But just like that, FFR Pro quickly recovered to getting a good Wiggler time of his own to get off to a little bit of an edge. Oh, a nice 14-second stage from Nicole. 15 from Skell. So they are more or less keeping leads. Skell's lead is fairly significant. Smart's not so much. It is about 1 second in her favor for the moment. Still very much neck and neck, as other puzzle communities might say. That's a 6-chain from FFR that built up very quickly. And that's going to lead to a 14. Smart got an unfortunate Blargg stage, needing 9 lines to get that win, and she still hasn't quite sent enough. Going to get it down there. But she can't have too many more stages like that if she wants to have a chance against one of the fastest players in the field. FFR will make a 4-chain with all the combos to Lungefish. That's 14 seconds. Skell confirms the kill on Lungefish at 18 seconds. And that match still remains fairly close. I think we're about 3 seconds apart now, with 4 stages to go. Smart gets another garbage clear, and she is not pleased. Oh no. She really got an unfortunate break from that garbage clear. That might do it for her chances in this match, as FFR Pro advances into the Cave of Wickedness at about 4:46. Beefin's going to advance to the cave at about 4:48. But Beefin is still behind Skell by several seconds. It is FFR Pro throwing down all of the fancy chains, and he's going to maintain more or less a one-stage lead against the 7 seed. Beefin gets another garbage clear, though. These garbage clears might be the whole story of this race. They are really setting him back a decent deal. Beefin's deficit is close to 3 seconds with 2 stages to go. Skell has a chance to extend the bottom match just a little bit. Meanwhile, it is FFR Pro dealing with Plant clearing some of his garbage. There's a garbage clear from Skell's Plant. Beefin avoids that garbage clear and will take the lead. The 25 Plant from Skell is going to really put a damper on their hopes of extending the match. The margin is now swept at close to 10 seconds in Beefin's favor, which, you know, Kamek is capable of chaining, so you might need to send a little bit more than to the rest of the opponents. Beefin might need to extend this a little bit further than that. He sure does. He needs 8 lines. He needs 9 lines. But Skell's also needing a similar amount. FFR Pro, though, is going to get the Kamek, and so does Beefin. Beefin actually finishing before FFR at 6:43. So Beefin will be taking that race, and FFR Pro will be taking the top race with a 6:46. So that was a close one for Beefin to deal with a little bit, as Skell finishes with a 7 flat. And ilikebeingsmart finishes with a 7:37. So, bit unfortunate from Smart there. Some untimely garbage clears really got in the way there. But as it sits now, it is FFR Pro taking home star number 2, along with Beefin taking home star number 2, and they will be taking home the win. So, well done from all of our players to making this interesting. But we can go ahead and make these 2 results official. With 2-0 sweeps, it is FFR Pro with his fiery plushies moving on to the next round of the fiery tournament. Beefin's in the Christmas spirit, I can see. It's certainly that time of year. And with that 2-0 sweep, Beefin will also be moving on to the semifinals. They will be playing each other in the semifinals of the Blargg Open. And we will see them duke it out in just a little bit. But before that, puzzlers, we've got a couple more quarterfinal matches to bring you. I will be taking to the stage against Kanayo, and 6 will be going up against the avatar sake of this tournament, Tetris Attacker. That Tetris Attacker definitely does not want to let Blargg down. So he will certainly be enthused to bring his very best in this tournament. And we will see all four of them play right after this. So stay tuned. You are watching the League of Puzzle Speedrunners Tetris Attack Speedrun Tournament 2025 Gargantua Blargg Open.